Hello and welcome to day 22 of the MBD month of mindset. Today's topic is reframe. Reframing is about changing the way that we look at things or changing the meaning that we hold with things. So, for example, let's say you're out driving and you get caught up in traffic and you think, oh, that guy's such an idiot. And then it happens again. And then you keep on like swearing at other drivers on the road for being idiots. And eventually it's like, oh, I'm surrounded by idiots. It's not a nice feeling to have. Yes, there are some terrible drivers out there. However, if you try and imagine that that person's in a rush and has got something important that they need to get to, maybe they're running late. We've all had that moment where we've driven a little bit more erratically, and where we're in a rush to try and get somewhere. And it wasn't because there was anything idiotic about us. It was because we were in a rush. Now, if we reframe that person as being someone that was in a rush, maybe they're trying to get to the hospital to see a loved one or anything like that, then suddenly we start looking at that person with compassion rather than looking at that person with derision. And that you may be thinking, well, what if the person is an idiot? The thing is, regardless, if we go back to the grudge day, regardless of that, of whether that person is an idiot or not, they're not experiencing the feeling of you thinking they're an idiot. You're the one who sat there thinking that you're surrounded by idiots on the road or dangerous drivers, and that's not a nice feeling for you to hold. So your feelings about that person are something that are impacting you. If we rechange that and say, you know what, guy's just in a rush, let it go. It's actually a great way to reframe it with us, and it makes us feel a lot better. But the one I absolutely love, I don't even have my mobile anywhere, so I won't be able to physically demonstrate this with an actual physical mobile phone, but you'll get the idea. The one I love is something I call filling in the blanks, and it's the difference between how things were when we only had a house phone compared to how things are now that we have mobile phones. So if we think back, cast our minds back to the days of yore where we had just the home phone, and you get home from school on a Friday, you give your friend a call, they wouldn't answer. The first thing you would assume in that situation is that they were having their dinner, or that they were busy, or that they were out. And you catch them later. Maybe you try phoning them later, possibly get an engaged tone, because we all know how well the mums could talk on the phone back in the day before they had Facebook to sit on. So we get on with our lives. We go back to whatever we're doing, whether that was watching like Coronation Street on a Friday night, or having your dinner, or just going out and seeing who's playing out in the street. Simpler times, eh? And we just get on with things. It was about the friend. It was about the fact that they were busy. They were doing something. It was never about you. Now we move over to the mobile phone, and when I ask this to a group of people, I say, what's the first thing you think of when someone doesn't answer the mobile phone? The most common answer I get is either they're ignoring me or they hate me. So now we've got a little bit of extra information, and now we assume and we've reframed the situation. Instead of being about the fact that they're busy, as we did with the house phone, we now reframe the entire situation and make it about the fact that they hate us, which actually really makes the situation about us and makes us feel pretty bad. And it'd be great if we just stopped there and went on and got on with the rest of our day, but we don't. We go back to the phone and we're checking it. If they call me back, if they call me back. And then we usually go one step further than that. We usually go to the next step, which is going on WhatsApp or something similar and typing in and saying, hey, trying to get hold of you, give me a shout when you're free. Send. And then we sit there and look at the phone. We get the one grey tick. We get the two grey ticks. Sent. We get the two blue ticks. They've received it. We're definitely going to get a reply now. So we sit there and we wait, and then the reply doesn't come. So we put the phone down and we try to get on with what we were doing, but then we check the phone. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I just didn't hear the notification come in. No, still not there. Maybe it just didn't come on the home screen. I'll open it. Oh, no, still not there. Still not read. We look at maybe when the last time the person was online and all this stuff. And we really build up a picture now about the fact that that person hates us, that they don't like us at all. The whole same situation, just been framed differently. And most of us will stop there, but a lot of us won't, which will go on to like Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever their preferred sort of story mode of choice is, and we'll go into the story. And the story gives us a little snapshot into what that person is up to now, or it gives us a snapshot into what that person wants us to see that they're up to now. And we'll look at that and we'll see that the person is out busy with somebody else. And then that person will be someone that maybe we look at and go, oh, well, I'm better than that person. I'm nicer than that person. Why are they out with them and not me? And we've got another little piece of information that reframes the situation even worse, in the fact that now not only do they hate you, not only are they ignoring you, but they prefer somebody else to you, and maybe even somebody else that you don't even like yourself, and you can't understand why. And we sit there and we question over and over and over and over again. Now, 99% of the time, we end up seeing that person after a little bit of time and everything's fine. But between the time that we see that person and then, or when that person finally gets back to us, we reframe the entire situation in this story that makes us feel terrible, makes us feel like we're hated or disliked. Now, on the flip side to that, have you ever received a message from somebody, it's come in, and you're just on the way like in to drive the car, or into sorting the kids' dinner out, or into work, into a meeting, onto a video call, whatever it might be, you're on the way into something and you look at that message and go, oh, that requires a little bit more than a yes or no. I'll get back to that later. Ever forgotten? Because the notification's been opened and you don't have a fresh one there? It happens to all of us. And it's not because you hated the person. It's not because you'd rather be with someone else than that person. It's not because you were avoiding the person. It's because you valued the person so much that you wanted to give them a proper reply. Now, this is the reframe I want you to do. I want you to reframe it as, when you don't get the response you want from someone, that person, you are valuable to that person, but that person's just busy and they're not available right now. And that, go back to your life the way that we did when we had the house phone. You send the message or you send the call. If you get a response, you get a response, fantastic, move forward. If you don't get a response, don't be sitting there checking the phone every 5 seconds. Don't be telling yourself the story that they hate me. Tell yourself the story, they're busy. Because 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, that is going to be the truth. The person's busy, they've opened the notification, they've forgotten. It's more about being a bit absent-minded than it is about the fact that they hate you. But what the story you tell yourself between the moment that message sends and the moment that you finally get to speak to that person, that is something that you will still experience. And if you experience 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a week of feeling that a person's ignoring you, of feeling like a person's hating you, it's a really uncomfortable thing to feel. Whereas if you spend that time saying, oh, they were obviously just busy, they'll get back to me. And if you really need an answer on something, a couple of days later or whatever, remember and go, actually, I still need an answer on that. And the person probably go, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to get back to you on that. I opened it, but I just forgot to reply. It's so common. We all do it. But we always assume that the other person's not. It's a great little reframe to help you to feel more comfortable in your social life.